The desert sun had barely risen when the long line of riders appeared on the horizon, their silhouettes sharpening against the golden sand as they approached the lone ranch, nestled between the cliffs. For generations, the land had belonged to the Red Hawk tribe, but the winds of the west had shifted, and survival required new alliances. Among the riders was Aiyana, the daughter of Chief Red Hawk, known across the plains for her fierce loyalty and calm strength. She rode with her chin lifted, her dark hair catching the morning breeze. Yet her heart beat with a turmoil she could no longer hide. For months she had secretly visited the rancher named Colt McKinley, a quiet, broad-shouldered man who had rebuilt his ranch with calloused hands and relentless faith. Colt had not expected to fall for her, nor she for him. But the wild frontier had a way of forcing unlikely souls together. Today that bond would be tested. As the warriors halted their horses in a semicircle around Colt's ranch, Chief Red Hawk dismounted and called his daughter to stand before the tribe. "The time has come," he declared, his voice echoing like a drumbeat. "Your path splits into two. You choose your people, or you choose the man whose world is not ours." Aiyana felt dozens of eyes pierce her, warriors she had grown up beside, elders who had blessed her, children who looked up to her, and then her gaze drifted to Colt, standing on the porch with dust on his boots and hope in his eyes. The world went silent for a moment, the kind of silence only the desert could hold. She walked forward, her steps steady yet trembling inside, and took Colt's hand. Gasps rippled across the tribal ranks. Her father's expression hardened with disappointment. "You choose him?" he asked. "I choose my heart," she whispered, gripping Colt's hand tighter. In that moment, both worlds shattered. The tribe turned away, some in anger, some in sorrow, leaving a cloud of dust as they rode off, their silhouettes fading into the lands Aiyana once called home. When the dust settled, Aiyana fell to her knees, crying silently, not because she regretted her choice, but because leaving her tribe felt like carving flesh from bone. Colt knelt beside her, lifting her chin gently. "You're not alone," he murmured. "This ranch, this life, it's yours if you want it." She wiped her tears, and a determined fire rose in her eyes. "Then I will rebuild my life here," she whispered. And she meant it. Over the next days, Aiyana worked harder than any ranch hand Colt had ever hired. She mended fences, trained horses, harvested crops with her bare hands, and breathed life into the ranch with a strength Colt admired deeply. She sang tribal lullabies at sunset, her voice dancing with the wind, reminding him of the world she had left behind. But not everything was peaceful. Word spread across the plains that Aiyana had abandoned her tribe for a white rancher. Whispers turned to threats, threats to anger, and soon riders from rival groups began circling Colt's land at night, testing boundaries. Aiyana knew the frontier was unforgiving toward divided loyalties. One night, as flames of the campfire flickered against the wooden cabin walls, she told Colt she feared her tribe might believe Colt swayed her, or worse, took her by force. "They will come," she said quietly. "Not to take me, but to judge you." Colt squeezed her hand. "Let them come. I'll stand for you." She smiled sadly. "This is not a fight you win with guns, Colt. This is a fight you win with truth." The next morning, footprints circled the barn, fresh, deliberate, a warning. Aiyana knew what was coming, and before Colt could stop her, she saddled a horse. "I must speak to my father," she said. "If I don't, war will come to your doorstep." Colt grabbed her arm, fear flashing in his eyes. "If you go, they may never let you return." Aiyana leaned in and kissed him softly. "If I don't go, none of this survives." And with that, she rode into the blazing desert, determined to face the tribe she once called family. What she did next would change the frontier forever, and shock both worlds. Aiyana rode toward the tribal lands with dust trailing behind her like a comet tail, her heart pounding with equal parts fear and resolve as the memories of her childhood echoed across the sun-baked plains. When she reached the Red Hawk encampment, dozens of warriors appeared instantly, their bows raised, their horses snorting as if they sensed the divided loyalties within her chest. She dismounted slowly, lifting her hands with respect. "I come in peace," she said firmly. They escorted her to the central fire where Chief Red Hawk sat surrounded by elders. His face hardened with disappointment. "You return after turning your back on us." Aiyana stepped forward. "I left to follow my path, not to betray you." Murmurs rose among the tribe. Some demanded punishment, others wanted her exiled forever. while a few younger warriors whispered admiration for her courage. But Aiyana lifted her chin. "If you believe I abandoned you, then let me prove otherwise. Let me fight for peace between our worlds." The chief stared at her for a long moment. "Peace?" he scoffed. "The ranchers push our borders, steal our land, deny our ways." Aiyana shook her head. "Colt McKinley is not like the others. He protects the land. He respects it. He respects me." Her father's jaw tightened. "You ask me to trust a man who took you away from your people?" She held his gaze. "He didn't take me. I chose him. Because he treats me as an equal. Because he sees me, not as a symbol, but as a woman with her own spirit." The council erupted with debate. But before a decision could be made, a frantic warrior burst into the circle shouting that a group of rival horse thieves had attacked the tribal cattle and were now heading for the ranch. Aiyana's blood froze. They weren't just raiders. They were known for leaving nothing but ash behind. Without hesitation, she turned to her father. "If the ranch burns, you will believe I chose wrong. Let me show you the truth." She didn't wait for permission. She leapt onto a horse and rode harder than she ever had, the tribal warriors falling in behind her. As they approached Colt's ranch, black smoke spiraled into the sky. The raiders were already there, setting fire to the storage shed and chasing Colt across the corral. Aiyana screamed his name and charged forward. What happened next spread across the frontier like wildfire. Aiyana fought with the ferocity of the desert wind, swinging from her horse, knocking raiders to the ground, her braid whipping like a banner of war. The Red Hawk warriors joined the battle, their arrows singing through the smoke as they clashed with the thieves. Colt, bleeding from a cut on his shoulder, stared in stunned disbelief, not at the chaos, but at Aiyana leading her tribe to defend a rancher. When the raiders finally fled, leaving their dead behind, Chief Red Hawk surveyed the destruction. The barn was scorched, the corral broken. The cattle scattered, but the ranch still stood. And it stood because Aiyana had brought two worlds together in a moment when division would have meant ruin. Colt walked to her slowly, his eyes full of gratitude and awe. She touched his cheek gently. "I told you," she whispered. "Some battles aren't won with guns." Her father approached, studying the rancher she had chosen. Colt extended his hand respectfully, and after a tense moment, Chief Red Hawk accepted it. "Your courage saved both our lands," he said to Aiyana. "You have forged a path neither world could have forged alone." In the days that followed, the tribe helped rebuild the ranch stronger than before. Aiyana became a bridge between two cultures, belonging fully to neither, yet honored by both. The moment the smoke cleared, everyone realized something shocking. Aiyana had not abandoned her tribe. She had evolved beyond it. She did not choose them or Colt. She chose unity. She chose peace. She chose the frontier's future. And in doing so, she earned a place in the legends of the Wild West, remembered as the woman who healed a land divided by fear. As the sun set behind the rebuilt barn, Colt wrapped his arm around her waist and whispered, "You didn't just save the ranch. You saved my world." And with a soft smile, Aiyana replied, "No, Colt. We saved it together."